From the depths of the ocean to the vast reaches of space, and even some quirky corners of everyday life, these incredible truths are guaranteed to make you question everything you thought you knew.
One of the most surprising facts in the world of film and television is that the legendary voice of Yoda from Star Wars is also the voice behind Miss Piggy from The Muppets. Both characters were brought to life by the incredibly talented Frank Oz, a puppeteer, director and voice actor whose work has shaped some of the most beloved franchises in entertainment history. Born in 1944, Frank Oz, born Frank Richard Osnowitz, began his career as a puppeteer working with Jim Henson, the creator of The Muppets. He quickly became a key member of the Muppets team, performing some of the most famous characters, including Miss Piggy, Fozzie Bear, Animal and Sam the Eagle. His ability to bring distinct personalities to life through voice and movement made him one of the most respected puppeteers in the industry. In 1980, Oz was chosen by Star Wars creator George Lucas to voice and perform Yoda, the wise and ancient Jedi Master who first appeared in The Empire Strikes Back. Using his puppeteering skills, Oz gave Yoda a unique speech pattern, wise yet humorous mannerisms, and a voice that became instantly recognizable. His performance helped make Yoda one of the most iconic and beloved characters in the Star Wars universe. Miss Piggy, one of the Muppets' most famous characters, is a bold, glamorous and sometimes temperamental pig who is madly in love with Kermit the Frog. Oz gave her a strong and dramatic voice, full of sass, confidence and comedic timing. She became a fan favorite due to her larger-than-life personality and famous karate chops. While Yoda and Miss Piggy are vastly different characters, one a wise, an ancient Jedi Master, and the other a fashion-forward, dramatic diver, Frank Oz managed to bring both to life in a way that made them instantly memorable. Yoda's gravelly, philosophical tone contrasts sharply with Miss Piggy's high-pitched, demanding voice, showcasing Oz's incredible range as a voice actor. Beyond Yoda and Miss Piggy, Frank Oz has had a remarkable career as a director and performer. He has directed several films, including The Dark Crystal, The Muppets Take Manhattan, Little Shop of Horrors, and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. His contributions to both Star Wars and The Muppets have made him a legend in the world of puppetry and film. It's hard to believe that the same person who gave us Yoda's calm wisdom also created Miss Piggy's over-the-top personality. Frank Oz's incredible talent for voice acting and puppeteering has left an unforgettable mark on pop culture. Whether you're watching a Star Wars film or a Muppet show, chances are you're hearing the work of a true master of his craft.
The Simpsons holds the record as the longest-running scripted television show in history, a title it has maintained for decades. Premiering on December 17, 1989, the animated sitcom created by Matt Groening has become a cultural phenomenon, influencing generations of viewers, comedians and television writers. With over 750 episodes and counting, the show continues to entertain audiences with its satirical take on American life. Before becoming a full-fledged series, The Simpsons started as a series of short animated sketches on The Tracey Ullman Show in 1987. These brief clips introduced the world to Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa and Maggie Simpson, a dysfunctional yet lovable family living in the fictional town of Springfield. Due to their popularity, Fox executives decided to develop the shorts into a standalone show, which officially debuted in 1989. Since its debut, The Simpsons has shattered multiple records. It became the longest-running American primetime animated series and surpassed Gunsmoke in 2018 as the longest-running scripted primetime TV series. With more than 35 seasons, the show has remained a staple of television history, influencing countless other animated series like Family Guy, South Park and Rick and Morty. Beyond its longevity, The Simpsons has had a profound cultural impact. The show's characters, catchphrases and satirical humour have become embedded in pop culture. Lines like "Doe," Homer's signature exclamation, and "Eat my shorts," Bart's rebellious catchphrase, are instantly recognizable worldwide. Additionally, The Simpsons has been credited with predicting real-world events, including Donald Trump's presidency, smartwatches, and even the Disney-Fox merger. One of the biggest reasons for The Simpsons' longevity is its ability to evolve with the times. The show continuously updates its humour to reflect current events, pop culture trends and changing social attitudes. With a massive rotating cast of guest stars, including politicians, musicians and Hollywood celebrities, the series keeps itself relevant while maintaining its classic humour and charm. Despite its historic success, The Simpsons has faced criticism over the years. Many fans argue that the earlier seasons, particularly seasons 3 to 10, were the show's golden age, while later seasons have struggled to maintain the same sharp writing and cultural significance. Additionally, the portrayal of certain characters, such as Apu Nahasapima Petilon, has sparked debates about representation in media. Still, the show's fan base remains strong, and it continues to draw millions of viewers worldwide. With over 35 seasons, a feature film, The Simpsons movie released in 2007, and dozens of awards, The Simpsons is more than just a TV show. It's a global phenomenon. It has shaped the landscape of television comedy, paving the way for animated sitcoms and pushing the boundaries of satire. Whether it continues for another decade or eventually comes to an end, The Simpsons has already cemented its place in television history as the longest-running and one of the most influential scripted TV shows of all time.
On April 23, 2005, a historic moment in internet history took place. The first ever YouTube video was uploaded. Titled "Me at the Zoo," the 18-second clip features George Kareem, one of YouTube's co-founders, standing in front of elephants at the San Diego Zoo. While it may seem like a simple and unremarkable video, this upload marked the beginning of what would become one of the largest and most influential platforms in the world. YouTube was founded by George Kareem, Steve Chen and Chad Hurley, three former PayPal employees who wanted to create an easy way for people to upload and share videos online. At the time, there were very few user-friendly platforms for sharing video content. Inspired by the challenges of finding and posting videos online, the trio launched YouTube.com on February 14, 2005, and a couple of months later, Me at the Zoo became its first upload. The video itself is simple and casual. George Kareem stands in front of elephants at the San Diego Zoo and briefly talks about their really long trunks. While it may not seem groundbreaking, this short clip symbolized the start of a new era of content creation. Unlike television or professional productions, YouTube allowed anyone with a camera to share videos with the world. After its launch, YouTube quickly gained popularity. By November 2006, just over a year after Me at the Zoo was uploaded, Google acquired YouTube for $1.65 billion in stock. The platform expanded rapidly, attracting millions of users, and it became the go-to site for videos ranging from entertainment and education to vlogs and viral challenges. Today, YouTube has over 2.5 billion monthly active users and more than 500 hours of video uploaded every minute. Despite being a simple video, Me at the Zoo holds a special place in internet history. It represents the birth of online video sharing culture, paving the way for content creators, influencers, and vloggers who now dominate the digital landscape. The video itself remains one of the most watched first videos on any platform, with millions of views. From its humble beginning with Me at the Zoo, YouTube has grown into a global powerhouse, transforming entertainment, news, and education. Today, YouTube hosts everything from viral videos and documentaries to full-length movies and live broadcasts. And it all started with a short, unscripted video at a zoo, proving that sometimes the smallest moments can create the biggest revolutions.
Before becoming the beloved family classic we know today, E.T. the Extraterrestrial was originally conceived as a horror film. The idea for the movie came from legendary director Steven Spielberg, but in its earliest form, the script told a much darker and scarier story. The original concept was titled Night Skies, and it focused on hostile alien invaders terrorizing a rural family. This eerie premise was a far cry from the heartwarming tale of friendship that eventually became E.T. The story of E.T. began in the late 1970s after the success of Spielberg's sci-fi masterpiece, Close Encounters of the Third Kind. While working on the project, Spielberg became fascinated with the idea of aliens visiting Earth. Inspired by a real-life incident in which a Kentucky family claimed to have been attacked by alien creatures, Spielberg initially wanted to explore a darker version of an extraterrestrial encounter. He hired John Sayles, a screenwriter known for his work in science fiction, to develop a script titled Night Skies. The film would have featured a group of violent aliens attacking a rural farmhouse, terrifying the family inside. One of these aliens, however, would have been a gentle and kind-hearted creature, forming a bond with the family's youngest child. This character later evolved into E.T. While Spielberg found the concept of Night Skies intriguing, he ultimately felt that making a horror movie about aliens didn't align with his creative vision. He was more interested in telling a story of friendship and wonder, rather than fear and terror. Around this time, he also realized that the subplot involving the gentle alien bonding with a child was the most emotionally compelling part of the script. Spielberg scrapped Night Skies and instead focused on creating a more personal, heartfelt film. He worked with screenwriter Melissa Matheson, who helped transform the idea into a child-friendly adventure about a lost alien and his bond with a young boy, Elliot. This reimagining led to the birth of E.T. the Extraterrestrial, which was released in 1982 and became one of the most iconic and successful films of all time. Although Night Skies was never made, its influence can be seen in several later projects. Elements of the horror concept resurfaced in Spielberg's 2002 film Signs, which featured hostile aliens terrorizing a farmhouse. Additionally, the design of E.T. was partially inspired by Night Skies, as Spielberg had originally envisioned the film's aliens with elongated necks and large eyes. Interestingly, the idea of a group of children encountering something supernatural also played a role in inspiring Stranger Things, a show that pays tribute to E.T. and other classic 1980s sci-fi films. What started as a dark and terrifying alien invasion story evolved into one of the most touching and beloved films of all time. Had Spielberg gone forward with Night Skies, the world may have never experienced the emotional and magical journey of E.T. This shift from horror to heartfelt storytelling is a testament to Spielberg's instincts as a filmmaker, turning what could have been a terrifying alien thriller into a timeless tale of friendship and wonder.
Winnie the Pooh, the beloved honey-loving bear created by A.A. Milner, has surprisingly been banned or censored in certain places for a variety of reasons. While the stories are widely cherished for their warmth, innocence and philosophical depth, some regions have deemed the character inappropriate due to political, cultural or ideological concerns. One of the most well-known instances of Winnie the Pooh being banned is in China. The Chinese government took offence to the use of Pooh as a satirical symbol to mock President Xi Jinping. Comparisons between the bear and the Chinese leader began circulating online in the early 2010s, often highlighting similarities between Xi's appearance and the round, friendly bear. As these memes gained popularity, the government responded by censoring images and references to Winnie the Pooh on social media platforms. This ban extended beyond digital spaces, with the character being restricted in books, merchandise, and even certain public appearances. Beyond political concerns, Winnie the Pooh has faced bans in other parts of the world for different reasons. In Poland and some regions in Turkey, officials have criticised the bear for not wearing pants, arguing that this makes him an inappropriate character for children. Some conservative groups have also objected to the character's supposed androgynous nature, believing it challenges traditional gender norms. Although these concerns may seem trivial to most, they have led to occasional restrictions on the use of Winnie the Pooh in educational and public settings. Despite these controversies, Winnie the Pooh remains an enduring symbol of childhood nostalgia and gentle wisdom. While certain governments and institutions may try to suppress the character, his stories continue to be treasured by fans worldwide, reminding people of the simple joys of friendship, kindness, and curiosity.
The Terminator's iconic line, "I'll be back," almost took a different form during production. The 1984 sci-fi classic, directed by James Cameron and starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, cemented itself in pop culture history with this simple yet powerful phrase. However, what many don't know is that this legendary line was nearly spoken as "I'll come back," which could have drastically altered its impact. During filming, Schwarzenegger and Cameron reportedly debated over the phrasing of the line. Schwarzenegger, who was still perfecting his English at the time, found "I'll be back" somewhat unnatural to say, and he suggested "I will come back" instead, believing it sounded more robotic and fitting for the character of the Terminator. Cameron, however, insisted on keeping the line as written, arguing that "I'll be back" had a smoother and more memorable rhythm. He also emphasized that the shorter phrase sounded more natural in conversation and would likely have a stronger impact on audiences. In hindsight, Cameron's decision proved to be the right one. When "I'll be back" was delivered in Schwarzenegger's deep monotone voice, it became an instantly unforgettable moment in cinematic history. The line was later repeated in various forms throughout the Terminator franchise, and has been frequently referenced in pop culture, from movies and TV shows to political speeches and everyday conversations. It is now considered one of the greatest movie quotes of all time, even ranking on the American Film Institute's list of top movie quotes. Had the line been altered to "I'll come back," it might not have carried the same weight or cultural resonance. The power of "I'll be back" lies in its brevity and simplicity, making it a perfect example of how even minor script changes can influence the lasting legacy of a film.
The Titanic's distress signal is a key moment in maritime history because it marked one of the first high-profile uses of the SOS signal, helping to establish it as the international standard. Before SOS, ships primarily relied on CQD, a distress call created by the Marconi Company in 1904. The meaning of CQD has been debated. Some say it stood for "Come Quick Danger," while others claim it simply meant general call, distress, with the letters themselves not standing for specific words. Regardless of its exact meaning, CQD was the widely recognized emergency call among ships using Marconi wireless equipment, which included the Titanic. However, by 1908, international maritime authorities had agreed on SOS as the new standard distress signal. The main reason for this change was that SOS, 3 short, 3 long, 3 short in Morse code, was much easier to recognize than CQD, especially in poor radio conditions or when signals were faint. Unlike CQD, which could sometimes be mistaken for other transmissions, SOS was simple, unmistakable, and easy to transmit quickly. Despite this, many ships, particularly British ones operating under the Marconi system, still use CQD out of habit, and the transition to SOS was slow. When the Titanic struck an iceberg late on the night of April 14, 1912, and began taking on water, senior wireless operator Jack Phillips initially transmitted CQD as the distress signal. He repeatedly sent out messages such as "CQD, CQD, CQD, MGY, the Titanic's call sign, we have struck an iceberg, sinking fast, come to our assistance." Junior operator Harold Bride, who was assisting Phillips, then suggested they also try SOS, remarking that it was a new signal and that it might be their last chance to use it. Phillips then alternated between sending CQD and SOS, hoping to increase the chances of their message being received. The distress signals were eventually picked up by the RMS Carpathia, a passenger liner about 58 miles away. Upon receiving the call, the Carpathia immediately changed course and raced toward the Titanic's last known position, navigating dangerous ice fields in the dark. Unfortunately, despite traveling at full speed, the Carpathia took over 3 hours to reach the site, arriving long after the Titanic had sunk. By the time rescuers arrived, more than 1,500 people had perished, with only around 700 survivors in lifeboats. Although the Titanic was not the absolute first ship to use SOS, its use of the signal in such a high-profile disaster helped cement SOS as the universally recognized distress call. In the wake of the tragedy, maritime safety regulations were significantly improved. The disaster led to the establishment of the Radio Act of 1912, which required 24-hour radio watch on passenger ships, ensuring that distress signals would not go unanswered. It also contributed to the creation of the International Ice Patrol and improvements in lifeboat regulations. The Titanic's distress signals remain one of the most poignant aspects of the disaster, symbolizing both the desperate attempts to call for help and the tragic inefficiencies of early 20th century maritime communication. Today, SOS is universally recognized as a distress signal used in emergencies far beyond maritime settings, including aviation and even general survival situations. The Titanic played a crucial role in the adoption and widespread recognition of SOS, ensuring that future distress calls would be clearer, faster, and more effective in saving lives.
Michael Jackson, the king of pop, had a well-documented fascination with comic books. And at one point, he even attempted to buy Marvel Comics in order to fulfill his dream of playing Spider-Man. This lesser-known chapter of Jackson's life highlights his deep love for superheroes and his ambition to expand his career beyond music and into film. During the 1990s, Marvel Comics was struggling financially and was on the verge of bankruptcy. Seeing an opportunity, Michael Jackson reportedly explored the idea of purchasing the company. His main motivation? He wanted to secure the rights to Spider-Man so that he could portray the iconic superhero in a movie. Jackson was a huge fan of the character and saw himself as a natural fit for the role. He even approached legendary comic book creator Stan Lee about his ambitions, discussing the possibility of acquiring Marvel to make his Spider-Man dreams a reality. Stan Lee, the co-creator of Spider-Man and other Marvel superheroes, later confirmed in interviews that Jackson had seriously considered the purchase. According to Lee, Jackson was very passionate about the idea and saw it as a way to break into Hollywood in a major way. However, the deal never came to fruition, and Marvel ultimately survived its financial troubles, later being bought by Disney in 2009 for $4 billion. Despite failing to acquire Marvel, Jackson still pursued his Hollywood aspirations in other ways. He had previously starred in films like Moonwalker in 1988 and had even auditioned for the role of Professor X in X-Men in 2000, though he was ultimately passed over for Patrick Stewart. While his dream of becoming Spider-Man never materialized, his attempt to buy Marvel remains a fascinating what-if scenario in both comic book and entertainment history. Had Jackson succeeded in his bid to buy Marvel, it's intriguing to imagine how the superhero film landscape might have changed. His version of Spider-Man would likely have been vastly different from the ones portrayed by Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland. While the idea may sound unusual today, it speaks to Jackson's boundless ambition and his willingness to think outside the box in pursuit of his creative passions.
One of the most iconic visual elements of The Matrix, released in 1999, is its cascading green digital rain, streams of glowing green characters that represent the simulated reality of the Matrix itself. This distinctive code, which has become synonymous with the film and its cyberpunk aesthetic, has an amusing and unexpected origin. It is actually made up of Japanese sushi recipes. Simon Whiteley, a production designer for The Matrix, revealed in an interview that he was responsible for creating the famous green code. To achieve the look, he scanned characters from a Japanese cookbook that belonged to his wife. The text primarily consisted of katakana, hiragana, and kanji characters, many of which were part of sushi recipes. Whiteley then manipulated the characters digitally, arranging them into the mesmerizing streams of green symbols that became the visual representation of the Matrix's programming. This revelation adds an ironic and humorous twist to the film's deep philosophical themes about reality, simulation, and artificial intelligence. While audiences might have assumed the Matrix code was composed of complex algorithms or hidden messages, it is in reality a simple aesthetic effect derived from everyday Japanese cooking instructions. The digital rain effect became one of the most recognizable elements of the Matrix franchise, used in sequels, spin-offs, and marketing materials. It has since been widely referenced and parodied in pop culture, further cementing its status as one of the most memorable images in cinematic history. The fact that its origins lie in something as ordinary as sushi recipes only adds to the film's mystique and charm, showing how creative inspiration can come from the most unexpected places.
Keanu Reeves is widely known for his generosity, and one of the most remarkable examples of this was his decision to give away a significant portion of his earnings from the Matrix films to the crew members who worked behind the scenes. While Reeves made a substantial salary from the trilogy, he prioritized ensuring that the people responsible for bringing the films to life, particularly the special effects and costume teams, were properly rewarded for their efforts. Reeves reportedly gave away tens of millions of dollars from his Matrix earnings, particularly his back-end profits from the sequels. Some reports suggest that he forfeited nearly $75 million of his potential earnings, allowing it to be distributed among the visual effects and costume departments. His reasoning was that these crews were the true unsung heroes of the films, working tirelessly to create the groundbreaking visual effects and futuristic aesthetics that made The Matrix a cinematic revolution. Reeves believed that without their expertise, the movie's success would not have been possible, and he wanted them to share in the financial rewards. In addition to this extraordinary act of generosity, Reeves is also known for treating stunt performers with great respect. During the Matrix films, he gifted Harley-Davidson motorcycles to several stunt crew members as a token of appreciation for their hard work. He has repeated similar gestures in other films, such as buying Rolex watches for the stunt team on John Wick 4. These acts have only added to Reeves's reputation as one of the most humble and kind-hearted actors in Hollywood. Keanu Reeves' willingness to share his wealth, especially with the crew members who typically go unnoticed, has cemented his legacy not just as an action star, but as one of the most genuinely kind figures in the entertainment industry. While many actors negotiate for larger paychecks, Reeves has repeatedly shown that his priorities go beyond money, focusing instead on gratitude, fairness, and uplifting those around him. His generosity remains one of the many reasons why he is so beloved by fans and respected by his colleagues.
Thank you for watching. We hope these mind-blowing facts left you amazed and inspired. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because there's plenty more where that came from. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.